In a world of constant connection, we're faced with an important question. Who deserves our trust? The ancient Stoics understood something profound about human nature. They knew that trust is precious, perhaps our most valuable social currency, and yet we often give it away too freely. Today, we're diving into the wisdom of Stoicism to identify 10 types of people the Stoics would warn us about. 10 people who may not deserve your immediate trust. This isn't about paranoia. It's about protecting your peace of mind, your time, and your emotional well-being. I'm Mazid, and let's explore the Stoic perspective on who deserves your trust and who doesn't. Type 1. The flatterer. The first person who doesn't deserve your unconditional trust is the flatterer. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus warned, if someone praises you as a good person and a man of integrity, be careful not to be captivated by what they say. Flatterers are easy to spot if you know what to look for. They offer praise that seems disproportionate. Their compliments often come when they want something. They rarely offer constructive criticism. They're quick to agree with everything you say. Story segment. Consider James, who was approached by a coworker who suddenly began complimenting his work ethic, style, and intelligence. James felt good until he realized these compliments coincided perfectly with this coworker needing help with a major project. The praise disappeared once the project was complete. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, be suspicious of those who praise you. Ask yourself, what do they want? What's their intention? Trust those who tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear. Type 2, the perpetual victim. The second type is the perpetual victim, someone who never takes responsibility for their circumstances. Stoicism emphasizes personal responsibility. Epictetus taught that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we are responsible for how we respond. Someone who consistently blames others for their problems, never acknowledges their role in conflicts, uses past hardships to manipulate others, makes themselves the central character in every misfortune, is someone the Stoics would approach with caution. Story segment. Consider Sarah, who befriended a colleague who had a new dramatic crisis every week. At first, Sarah was sympathetic and offered help. But she noticed a pattern. Her colleague rejected every solution, dismissed every suggestion, and seemed to thrive on the attention their problems generated. The problems never improved because improvement wasn't the goal. The Stoics would advise, help others genuinely in need, but be wary of those who cultivate victimhood as an identity. Type 3. The promise breaker. The third type is the promise breaker, someone whose words and actions rarely align. For Stoics, integrity was paramount. Seneca wrote extensively about keeping one's word as an essential element of virtue. Signs you're dealing with a promise breaker. They consistently fail to follow through. Their excuses are elaborate but ring hollow. They overpromise with enthusiasm. When confronted, they minimize your disappointment. Story segment. Alex hired a contractor who promised to complete a home renovation in 3 weeks. 3 months later, with the project half finished, the contractor was still making promises about finishing next week. After dozens of similar promises, Alex realized this pattern would continue indefinitely. The Stoic approach? Judge people by their actions, not their promises. Trust is earned through consistency, not words. Type 4. The fair weather friend. The fourth type is the fair weather friend, present in good times, absent in bad. Stoics valued true friendship deeply. Seneca wrote, friendship is always beneficial, while love sometimes causes harm. Fair weather friends can be identified by their disappearance during your difficulties, their reappearance when you succeed, their reluctance to be associated with your struggles, their eagerness to be seen with you during your triumphs. Story segment. When Mia lost her job, she noticed her social circle shrinking dramatically. Invitations stopped, messages went unanswered. 6 months later, when she landed an impressive new position, those same friends suddenly reappeared, acting as if nothing had changed. A Stoic understands. True friends are revealed in adversity, not prosperity. Type 5. The secret competitor. The fifth type is the secret competitor, someone who views your relationship as a contest. The Stoics emphasize cooperation over competition in personal relationships. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about how humans are designed to work together. Signs of a secret competitor. They subtly undermine your achievements. They offer help that actually sets you back. They're visibly pleased at your setbacks. They compare themselves to you constantly. Story segment. David shared his business idea with a close friend who enthusiastically encouraged him. Later, David discovered this friend had started a nearly identical business, using all the information David had shared, while continuing to ask for updates on David's progress. The Stoic perspective. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Be discerning about who you share your vulnerabilities and aspirations with. Type 6. The gossiper. The sixth type is the gossiper, someone who discusses others behind their backs. The Stoics considered speaking poorly of others to be beneath a virtuous person. As Epictetus advised, if someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against the accusations, but reply, "You obviously don't know about my other vices, otherwise you would have mentioned those as well." How to identify a gossiper? They regularly share unflattering stories about others. They preface criticism with, "Don't tell them I said this," but they create drama between friends. They seem unusually informed about others' private matters. Story segment. Emma noticed a coworker would always share juicy details about other team members' mistakes or personal problems. Initially, Emma felt included in these, quote, confidential conversations. Then she overheard this same coworker sharing Emma's own personal struggles with someone else. The Stoic wisdom. Those who gossip to you will gossip about you. Trust accordingly. Type 7. The emotional manipulator. The seventh type is the emotional manipulator, someone who weaponizes feelings to control others. Stoics advocated for emotional intelligence and authenticity. They would be wary of those who use emotions tactically rather than expressing them honestly. Signs of emotional manipulation. They make you feel guilty for reasonable boundaries. They exaggerate emotional reactions to get their way. They withdraw affection as punishment.